Right then, tricky trees. Listen up. We're not here for a quiet chat about the weather, are we? We're here because the air around the city ground is thick with dread, with rumor, and frankly, with pure, unadulterated chaos. Every time we think the dust has settled on another chaotic season, Evangelos Marinakis decides to shake the whole damn tree again. And this time, it feels less like a managerial decision and more like a club-wide panic attack. The heat is on. No, scratch that. The fire is raging. In just a handful of weeks, the man we brought in with so much promise, the one who was meant to deliver a revolutionary style of football, is already staring down the barrel. They say the axe is sharpened, and it's hovering so close, you can hear the Australian's neck sweating. It's an unbelievable situation. A brutal, chaotic, almost incomprehensible start to life for any manager. But this is Nottingham Forest, isn't it? This is where the improbable becomes the inevitable, where yesterday's hero is today's headline. But it's not just the manager. That's just the smoke. The fire is burning the foundation. We've got a crucial international break now. A moment for reflection, yes, but also a chance for the owner to wield his power. And Marinakis, as we know, doesn't do quiet reflection. He does decisions. Huge, seismic, season-altering decisions. We've dug deep into the sources, the trusted journalists, the back rooms where these deals are really made, and what we've uncovered tells a terrifying story. Firstly, the reports aren't just about a potential sacking. They name the long-term established Premier League boss they want to bring in. Not an interim, not a stopgap, but the real statement signing to replace the manager who hasn't even had his feet under the desk. We're talking about a massive gamble, a manager who could cost a fortune to prize away from a rival, the kind of deal that says, we are prepared to completely tear up the script and pay anything to stop the rot. And what happens when a club is in total meltdown? The players start looking for the nearest exit sign. We've got a major transfer crisis brewing right now, involving a goalkeeper, a summer signing, mind you, who is already declaring that the club moved the goalposts on him. He's had the chat with the coach, the frank, uncomfortable discussion that every fan dreads, and he's laid out his demands. A keeper demanding an immediate solution, already eyeing the door for a January move. It's a sign of a vestiario, a dressing room, that is fracturing under the pressure. When players you've just signed lose faith this quickly, what does that tell you about the environment at the city ground? The manager, meanwhile, is being squeezed from all sides. Even the transfer guru, Fabrizio Romano, has had to intervene, providing crucial details on the behind-the-scenes drama, confirming that the pressure from the club's board is relentless, unforgiving, and most tellingly, immediate. The word is unwavering. The word is impatience. It sounds like Postecoglou is fighting a war on three fronts: the pitch, the owner's box, and the fracturing loyalty of his own squad. But there's one more rumor that just dropped. A pure, heart-stopping piece of transfer gossip that could define our next few seasons. It involves one of the biggest clubs in the country, and a shock raid for a young, immensely talented, high-potential prospect. A kid we're supposedly trying to bring in for a cool $25 million. Wait, $25 million for an academy player? Are we in talks to sign a future star? Or are we just throwing cash around to distract from the real problem? The whole situation is madness. So before we rip into the headlines and confirm who is staying, who is going, and who Marinakis is truly targeting, I need to know, are we witnessing the most chaotic, short-lived managerial tenure in modern Forest history? Or is the media simply manufacturing a crisis because of one tough run of games? Let me know now, in the comments. I want your hot take. Drop a like on this video if you feel the genuine panic creeping in. And a special word to all you tricky trees watching this right now on your smart TV, always supporting the Garibaldi Red. You're seeing the chaos. You're getting the breaking news. And you know we only bring you the serious, verified reports about our club. We need your help to keep this channel growing and keep bringing these vital updates. Grab your phone right now, search for the channel name, and hit that subscribe button. Don't just watch. Be a part of the fight. Every subscriber fuels our ability to continue bringing you the truth about our team. Because the first revelation will confirm the extent of the owner's brutality. The reporting says the sack is imminent. And this time, The rumor is coming from the most respected, click-worthy sources on the planet. Get ready. This is where the story truly begins. Okay, Garibaldi Red, here we go. The story that has dominated the last 24 hours, a rumor so explosive it completely overshadows any on-field result. The whispers turn to shouts, and now the shouts are a deafening roar that has Ange Postecoglou's future hanging by the thinnest thread imaginable. They told us he was the revolutionary, the man with the European winners' medal, the man who would finally deliver a cohesive identity to this sprawling, expensive squad. But revolution takes time. And time is the one thing you simply do not get when Evangelos Marinakis is your employer. The reports are concrete. Ange Postecoglou is now facing an imminent sacking, less than a month into the job. Forget weeks. We are talking days, maybe hours, until the final trigger is pulled. The word imminent is the one that sends a shiver down the spine of every fan who craves stability. This isn't just pressure. This is a calculated strategic move from the very top. The club owner has reportedly prepared a clear succession plan, with a long-term target already lined up to take the reins. Think about that for a second. While Postecoglou was on the touchline, battling for his first win, the ownership, according to reports, was quietly preparing the foundations for his replacement. What exactly happened? The results, or rather, the lack of them, have been unforgiving. Postecoglou has failed to secure a single victory in his tenure so far, continuing a tough run of form. But this isn't solely about the numbers. This is about style, or the perceived lack of suitability of the manager for the Nottingham Forest project. Nuno Espirito Santo, the man he replaced, was dismissed not for footballing reasons, but due to a falling out with the owner. Nuno delivered European football, finished 7th, and built a robust defensive unit. Postecoglou came in and tried to dismantle that very unit, pushing a high-line, high-possession style that has, so far, completely exposed the team. The sheer brutality of this timeline is astonishing. Marinakis is renowned for his impatience. He sacked Nuno. He sacked Steve Cooper despite his legendary status. But dismissing a manager who just arrived, a Champions League winning coach with a clear philosophy, is a new level of ruthlessness. The reports suggest that the owner's relationship with his preferred replacement, the one we'll discuss in Part 6, has been strong for some time, making this move feel less like a reaction to recent defeats and more like the inevitable outcome of a plan that was already in motion. Postecoglou was simply a temporary measure, a miscalculation they are now desperate to correct. The failure to adapt quickly, the leaky defense, and the visible frustration on the faces of senior players have created the perfect storm for a preemptive strike from the owner. Here's the killer detail. Postecoglou is set to become the Forest manager with the shortest full-time tenure in over 60 years, if this sacking goes ahead. Not since the 1960s has a permanent Forest boss failed to secure a win in their opening league games and been dismissed so quickly. This highlights the absolute desperation at the city ground. It shows that Marinakis views the current situation not as a bumpy transition, but as a deep, critical flaw that must be corrected immediately, regardless of the staggering financial cost of 3 managerial changes in a single calendar year. The revolving door is spinning faster than ever before. The question is, did Ange Postecoglou deserve more time? Or is Marinakis right to sacrifice stability for immediate results, given the money spent on this squad? If he's sacked now, is he simply the fall guy for a chaotic transfer policy? I want to know your honest opinion on the Marinakis management style. Is it ruthless ambition or pure short-term madness? Comment now. Did Postecoglou get a raw deal? If that news wasn't enough to put us on high alert, the next detail comes from the most trusted source in transfer news, confirming the boardroom pressure is not only real, but is actively accelerating this decision. Get ready to hear exactly what is being said behind closed doors. When the internal walls start shaking, there's only one man the world of football turns to for the structural report. We're talking about the guy who sees the texts, hears the whispers, and knows exactly what the owners are plotting before the club lawyers even draw up the paperwork. His confirmation solidifies a rumor and turns it into a full-blown crisis. If he says the board is losing patience, you know the paperwork is already being filed. The ultimate transfer guru, Fabrizio Romano, has weighed in on the crisis, providing a crucial update on the pressure currently suffocating Ange Postecoglou. Romano's sources confirm that the pressure coming directly from the Forest hierarchy is relentless and unforgiving. Crucially, he detailed that the current poor run of results has led to an immediate and unwavering lack of patience from the top brass. This isn't speculation. This is verification from the highest level of football journalism. What does Romano's intervention truly mean? It means the story is not manufactured. It means the internal clock for Postecoglou has stopped ticking. When a journalist of his standing uses words like unwavering and immediate, it signals that the decision is more or less made, pending a final trigger. The owner, Marinakis, is clearly operating on a zero-tolerance policy for failure, regardless of the context. Postecoglou inherited a bloated squad, a complex dressing room, and a team identity that was never his own. But in Marinakis' eyes, the only currency that matters is results. And Postecoglou has delivered a big, fat zero in the win column. The tactical dilemma is central to this conflict. Nuno's Forest was solid, reliant on counterattacks and set pieces, built to survive the Premier League. Postecoglou's demand for high-possession football has, frankly, made us easy to score against. The players, built for a low block, are struggling to adjust to the high press. Romano's report confirms that this tactical failure, combined with the lack of points, has simply exasperated the people who sign the checks. The international break, usually a reprieve, is being used as a war room planning session to identify the exact moment to make the change. They see the international break not as a rest, but as the perfect window of opportunity to install a new man without missing a single Premier League fixture. This crisis of confidence seems to be directly linked to a specific financial reality. Profit and sustainability rules, PSR. Forest is under intense pressure to balance the books after a historic spending spree. Every week without a win devalues the expensive players on the field and increases the chance of relegation, which would be a financial catastrophe. Romano's subtle reference to the hierarchy suggests the financial and administrative leadership is unified with Marinakis in demanding a rapid change to protect the club's Premier League status and economic future. The fear of relegation and the corresponding PSR failure is arguably a bigger motivator than the desire for Postecoglou's attractive football. The question now is one of authority and accountability. If Marinakis and the board are making the decision to sack Postecoglou based on PSR fears and tactical mismatch, does the ultimate blame still lie with the coach? Or with the owner who hired the wrong man for the wrong job in the first place? Who is the real villain here? The manager with the wrong style or the owner with the trigger finger? Comment your verdict. Is Postecoglou a scapegoat? This lack of faith isn't just coming from the owner's box. It's infecting the dressing room, leading to a serious player crisis that is now spilling out into the open. We move from the board to the boots, and the story involves a summer signing who feels the club has outright lied to him. It's one thing when the pundits and the owner start questioning the manager, but it's a completely different level of panic when a player you just signed, a key part of your summer recruitment drive, publicly states his disappointment. When the confidence goes among the players, the dressing room becomes toxic, and the results, inevitably, spiral downwards. This is about more than minutes on the pitch. It's about broken promises and a loss of faith in the project itself. Summer signing and experienced goalkeeper Angus Gunn has openly revealed the details of a frank, open discussion with Ange Postecoglou regarding his immediate future. Gunn admitted to the media that he felt the club had fundamentally moved the goalposts on the playing time he was promised, and he is now actively looking to cut his spell short with a potential move away in the January transfer window. This is a staggering admission of internal discontent from a player who should be settling in. Gunn's frustration stems from a lack of minutes. He has seen very little action since his arrival, with another keeper being favored. His statement about the moved goalposts suggests a clear breach of promises made during the recruitment process. promises likely given by the previous manager or the recruitment team. Not Postecoglou himself. However, it's the current manager who has to deal with the fallout. Gunn is a starting international goalkeeper, and he desperately needs regular football to maintain his place in his national squad ahead of major tournaments. For a professional player, a promise of regular minutes is a contract of trust. When that trust is broken, the player views the club as unreliable. This internal rebellion significantly escalates the pressure on Postecoglou. Not only is he fighting for his job, but he now has to manage a disgruntled senior player who is publicly voicing his desire to leave. This forces the club to either cave to the player's demands in January, admitting a failure in their summer recruitment, or risk keeping a deeply unhappy professional in the squad, potentially poisoning the atmosphere further. The timing just before a critical run of fixtures highlights the volatile nature of the Forest dressing room, where player power can sometimes feel more dominant than managerial authority. This situation undermines Postecoglou's attempts to build a consistent, unified team identity. Interestingly, Angus Gunn specifically mentioned in his interview that he has to secure minutes for his upcoming World Cup potentially. This single phrase is a powerful reminder that for players, the club is a stepping stone to their international careers. When the club fails to deliver on promises, the players quickly prioritize their personal ambitions over the club's stability. For a Forest team fighting relegation battles, player ambition is a double-edged sword. It drives performance, but it also creates a strong incentive to jump ship when the ship starts sinking. This puts the club in a financially weak position for January negotiations. The choice is difficult. Should Postecoglou have prioritized Gunn in goal to manage the player's ego and preserve squad harmony? Or was he right to stick with his tactical preference, even if it meant alienating a new signing? Do you sacrifice the tactical vision for the sake of the dressing room atmosphere? Have your say now in the comments. From internal player conflict, we jump straight back into the transfer market with a rumor that will make your jaw drop. It involves an astonishing $25 million bid for a young prospect, proving that even in a crisis, Forest's recruitment machine never stops spinning. But who is this player, and why are we spending such an insane fee in the middle of a managerial collapse? This is the kind of rumor that makes you completely forget about the manager, if only for a few minutes. It's a pure, unadulterated shot of market adrenaline. Forest, in the middle of the most intense managerial crisis of the year, with a keeper trying to escape and the owner poised over the firing button, is reportedly preparing a massive financial commitment for the future. Are they trying to distract us? Or is this the desperate, calculated move of a club trying to secure tomorrow's superstar before the rest of the league catches on? Reports are flying that Nottingham Forest is in active talks to sign a highly rated Arsenal Academy prospect in a staggering deal potentially worth up to £25 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. £25 million for a young player who has barely established himself in the first team. This is not a rumor about a seasoned striker. It's a huge, high-risk, high-reward bet on pure, unproven potential, right in the middle of a stability crisis. This transfer rumor, labeled as a potential deal by major sources, completely defines the modern Nottingham Forest strategy. Massive spending, massive turnover, and a relentless focus on securing future assets. The $25 million price tag is eye-watering and reflects the desperate competition for elite young English talent. Arsenal, a club known for its successful academy pathway, would only sanction such a move for a truly astronomical fee, and Forest is reportedly willing to pay it. This move signals two things. First, Forest's recruitment team believes this young player is the next big thing, a generational talent who can be developed and then sold on for 3 or 4 times the price. Second, it shows the club's unwavering commitment to the model of buy young, sell high, a model that is often at odds with the short-term, instant results mentality of the owner. The timing, however, is deeply concerning. Spending £250 million on a prospect when the entire club structure is about to collapse under a managerial change raises huge questions about priorities. Are they buying a player for Postecoglou's system or for the system of the incoming manager? And is that kind of money best spent on a prospect, or on the proven quality needed right now to escape the relegation dogfight? The transfer department, it seems, operates independently of the managerial office, creating a situation where the new manager may inherit a player he never asked for and may not even rate. It's a classic Forest paradox, planning for the future while desperately failing in the present. This potential move mirrors Forest's recent blockbuster deals for young talent, such as the initial investment in players like Morgan Gibbs-White, who cost a huge amount but has proven his quality, and even the successful scouting of South American gems like Murillo. The club has a track record of identifying and signing these high-potential assets. But the sheer scale of this reported fee for an academy prospect surpasses almost all their previous youth investments. It's a financial gamble that could be brilliant or spectacularly disastrous. The £1 million, or rather, the 25 million question is, would you rather the club spent 25 million on this young, unproven Arsenal prospect as an investment for the future, or on a proven Premier League striker who guarantees 15 goals and helps keep us up this season? What does the club need more right now? Future assets or immediate survival? Tell me your transfer priority right now. Now we return to the root of the crisis. We know Postecoglou is likely gone. We know the owner has a target. But who is the man with the strong relationship with Marinakis? The one they are prepared to pay a massive fee for to solve this mess. The name is a blockbuster. We've seen the chaos. We've felt the toxicity. We know the current man is on his way out. Now we pull back the curtain on the grand design of Evangelos Marinakis. This isn't just a random name plucked from the list of unemployed managers. This is the long-term target. The man whose name has been whispered around the City Ground boardrooms for years. This is the manager they believe has the perfect blend of Premier League experience and attacking flair to deliver the stability that this club desperately craves. The club's primary target to replace the incoming Ange Postecoglou is reportedly Marco Silva, the current manager of Fulham. Sources close to the club confirm that Silva is the preferred choice and has been on Forest's radar due to his history of achieving promotion and his record of establishing a team in the demanding Premier League. This is a clear signal that Marinakis wants a proven operator who can deliver fast results and stability. Why Marco Silva? The reasoning is sound, if ruthless. Silva guided Fulham to the championship title and has since established them as a solid, mid-table Premier League side. Exactly the stability that Forest is chasing. Crucially, the reports suggest that the relationship between Silva and Marinakis is strong, a key factor given the owner's preference for personal rapport. However, there is a massive roadblock. Silva is currently employed and has a significant contract with Fulham. Marinakis typically hires managers who are out of work to avoid compensation fees and protracted negotiations. The complication lies in the logistics. It is understood that a move for Silva would be extremely difficult mid-season due to a large release clause in his contract. This forces Forest into a dangerous corner. Do they pay a massive compensation package to secure their man now and risk financial penalties? Or do they hire a short-term interim manager to hold the fort until Silva's contract expires at the end of the season? Either way, the club is facing an expensive and difficult transition that further validates the decision to sack Postecoglou was not taken lightly, but was part of a broader, costly strategy to secure a manager Marinakis clearly feels is superior. The owner is prepared to pay whatever it takes to end the crisis, even if it means breaking his own hiring traditions. Marco Silva's profile is the definition of a steady Premier League commodity. His past success with both Watford and Everton, though mixed, demonstrates his ability to rapidly change the trajectory of a struggling club. In contrast to Postecoglou's high-risk football, Silva favors a more pragmatic, organized approach that would likely please the defensive-minded players, and most importantly, provide the club with a much-needed increase in their expected points, (XP) metric. Ensuring survival is the first priority. His appointment would be a direct move back to an established Premier League style, signaling a complete U-turn on the Postecoglou revolution. Be honest, tricky trees. Would you rather have Marco Silva, the proven Premier League stabilizer, or continue to back Ange Postecoglou's high-risk, high-reward tactical revolution? Are we built for stability or for the kind of chaos that usually ends in glory? Or relegation? Give me your manager choice. Silva or Ange? This is it. The international break arrived not as a rest, but as a crucible where the fate of our club is being decided. The manager is out. The players are unsettled. The owner is prepared to spend a king's ransom on a replacement and a future star. This isn't just about football. It's about the very soul of Nottingham Forest, a club that simultaneously chases stability and embraces the most self-destructive chaos. What does all this volatility say about who we are? It says we are a club that lives by the sword of ambition and dies by the sword of impatience. We demand instant success, but we never afford the time needed to build it. We are the tricky trees, and right now, the roots are shaking. If this chaos has you on the edge of your seat, you know what to do. Like this video, comment your final thoughts on the sacking, and most importantly, subscribe so you don't miss the moment the official announcement drops. Double cliffhanger. One huge name, a former Forest favorite, has just been linked with a massive transfer move back to the city ground. Who is the returning hero that could save our season? Next video, we'll expose the full list of players Postecoglou secretly wanted to sell before his sacking was confirmed. Get ready, because the list of casualties is longer than you think.